Not scoring runs sucks. And honestly, I don't think there's much worse out there than having to walk back to the dressing room after you've been excited to bat all week and it didn't go as long as you wanted it to. And now you have to sit next to the field and watch your mates have all the fun. So, to help you fix that, we're going to cover 6 regions that every single batter needs to be able to target when they're facing spin bowling. And if you do manage to learn these target areas, it'll help you score a lot more runs. Starting with that fine, short third man 45 region. This is a gap where you'll be looking to use the pace of the bowler a bit more than anything else. In general, it's pretty tough to get a lot of power on the ball when you try and hit it that fine, but it is doable with a bit of practice. Some shots you'll have to learn to be able to target this area are the late cut. So let's cover that first. Here, all you want to do is make enough space or generate width with your feet so your hands have some freedom. Make sure you get nice and low, make contact super late, almost behind yourself, and that's pretty much the only way you can get the ball that fine with some power on the cut shot. Next option will be a dab or running it down to third man. For this, we'll want to make sure to get our head into the line of the ball, stay side on as long as possible, and try and make contact with the ball as late as possible, almost in line or behind our back hip. By doing this, it allows us to softly place our bat on top of the ball, running it down, using the pace to target that vacant 45 region. And our third and final option to target that area is any form of reverse sweep, or actually a reverse paddle sweep. To do this, we need to make sure to get as low as possible, again, as quickly as possible, making sure to get our front pad just outside the line of the ball and getting those arms extended, reaching for the ball, trying to hit down on it to ensure a little bit more safety to the shot. From there on, we're going to move to our next area, which will be that gap between point and cover that spinners normally have. This is one of the easier gaps to hit, specifically if it's a leg spin bowler or anyone that's turning the ball away from you, as it does carry a little bit more risk when the ball does turn into you. Here we're going to look at 3 options again. The first being the back foot punch type of shot. To play this shot, all you'll have to do is make sure that you've given yourself enough space that you can stay nice and side on and get your head roughly in line with the contact point. This allows your hands to do the work to access that gap on the offside. A second option will be a slightly more aggressive option, and this time will be our cut shot. For the cut shot, a lot of the key fundamentals stay the same as the back foot punch. The only difference is that here we will have to give ourselves a lot more space. You also want to make sure that you get nice and low so your bat can get on plane with the ball. We don't want that 45-degree angle bat. And we want to make sure that we hit from a high to low angle through the ball, ensuring that our weight is in front of that back foot at all times. An awesome checkpoint here would be to feel like you are on your toes when you're playing the shot and not on your heels. And our final shot to target that square offside gap would be a square drive. And although I guess some of you could call it a front foot slap, and you will see why, in our mind it is still a drive. When we look to play the shot, a few things remain the same as the cut shot. Again, you want to get nice and low. You want to make sure that you've got enough space for your hands to work through that line and through that contact point. You'll want to make sure to stay side on as long as possible, and you want to make sure to hit through the contact point with that very dominant bottom hand. So that's 2 of the 6 areas. And if you have found this video helpful thus far, please leave us a like, consider subscribing, that would mean the world to us. And let's get on. Number 3, long off. To successfully long off, we'll be looking at hitting more straight patch shots than anything else. And the first shot we'll be looking at is to play your standard off drive. Here, all you want to do is make sure that you get your head into the line of the ball, get your head nice and forwards over the contact point, and make sure you hit through the line of the ball towards that offside gap, making sure your top hand leads the shot through its entirety to completion. Another key point is to try and get to the pitch of the ball, helping us negate the spin as much as possible. Our next option will be to do the exact same thing, just incorporating a double step or stepping down the wicket, as some of our viewers like to call it. Here, all your checkpoints remain the exact same, but we'll add a few more key fundamentals. Number one, make sure your first stride is bigger than your second stride. And number two, try and get a nice stable base before you make contact. And also number three, try and keep your head and your eyes as level and stable as possible when you do your double step into your contact point. And now finally, we're going to look at a back foot option. And this one is very reminiscent of that back foot punch we covered for the offside gap, except we're going to look to try and get a lot higher onto our toes and a bit more leg side of the ball, so we can almost flatten that back foot punch on top of the contact point through the line to target that long off area. Here, you can also add a little bit more of your bottom hand to try and get that shot through that contact point to the gap a bit more effectively. We have finally completed the offside, so it's time to start looking at our three leg side areas. Number one being the long on region, and this is normally one of the most prevalent and important gaps when it comes to batting against spin bowling. The technique required to play or hit this gap is extremely similar to the one we just covered for long off. So while the shots play in the background, the only thing you'll need to make sure this time is to get your front pad a bit more in line with the ball and get your head a bit more forward so that your hands have got room and access through the line of the ball in front of your pad to target that long on region. This is the exact same for your drive and your double step, and it's also very similar for that back foot punch. The only small difference with that back foot punch is that you'll add a little bit more bottom hand and your contact point will shift a little bit more in line with the center of your body or that back hip. The next gap will be our deep square gap. Here we have four different options. We've got the sweep shot, we've got the pull shot, we've got the clip of the hips, and we've got that little front foot drop to the leg side. Let's start off with the one I struggle with the most, and that is the sweep shot. For the sweep shot, what you want to do is get low fast and get that front pad in line with the ball. Make sure to go fetch the ball as much as you can with that bottom hand, trying to get those elbows in front of your pad. Don't try and keep the ball down by rolling your wrists. Simply hit from a higher to lower position, trying to keep the bat's blade full through that contact point. Next up, sticking to more of a front foot option, we're going to look at that front foot drop. And yeah, again, we want to make sure to push our head forwards towards the line of the ball and get our front pad in line where the contact point will be. Get your head forward, make sure that we've got enough space for hands to work to that mid-wicket region. And yeah, also try and make sure to let the ball simply bounce off of the bat. We don't really want to put power on it as that pushes the ball too straight. Now onto our back foot options. Let's start with the drop of the hip. To successfully play this shot, you'll want to make sure that you make contact in line with your front hip. So if the ball's going to finish there, you can simply play it. And if it's a bit more outside the off stump, you'll have to work to get in line with that back foot. The same key things apply. You have to make sure that your head is forward so that your hands work towards that mid-wicket region. And all the while you're doing this, you want to try and stay as side-arm as possible. Our final option will be the pull shot. Same as all our other cross bat shots. Against spin, we want to make sure that we get nice and low, fast, so we can get more on plane with the ball. Here, we get our back foot slightly across, opening up with that front foot, making sure that we hit from a high to low position, extending those arms, dominant bottom hand, through contact and finishing it off over our shoulders. And that brings us to our final gap for this video, that gap behind square on the leg side. When we are looking to hit this gap, it's less about technique and a bit more about just making sure you get bat on it and you're a bit more delicate with your shots. So, for instance, if you want to play a sweep shot, it's almost going to have to be more of a paddle sweep, making sure that that front foot's in line, your arms are extended, you're fetching the ball, and you almost just dab down on it, making sure to get some bat on the ball. And if you don't want to play a sweep and you want a bit more of a powerful shot like a pull shot, yeah, the only big thing you want to do is making sure that you get more offside of the ball. So this time not making contact in line with us, but a bit more down that leg side so we can hit down on it and a bit later catching up with hands to get that fine gap. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. A massive thank you to all our members for making this possible. The names will be over here. And if you want to see how to play fast bowling, check the video out over here.